Welcome back to Classic Radio Drama Theater. In this episode, we're serving up a collection of 4 vintage radio broadcasts, each one a masterclass in suspense, mystery, and the unexpected twists of fate. We'll follow a detective on a dangerous trail, meet a man who makes a living off other people's desperation, witness simmering tensions ready to boil over at a horse race, and witness the dark side of prejudice in the Wild West. 4 stories, 4 thrilling puzzles, all waiting to be solved. First, step into the shoes of a hard-boiled private eye in The Man with the Key, a classic from Regan, Investigator. A mysterious woman, a cryptic assignment, and a key that unlocks more than just a door. What deadly secrets will Regan uncover?
My name's Regan. I get 10 a day in expenses from a detective bureau run by a guy named Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
With Jack Webb as Jeff Regan, Investigator, stand by for hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of The Man with the Key.
A block above Wilton on Hollywood Boulevard, there's a street they call Taft. It isn't very long, about 48 palm trees and a couple of bad sewers. It figures that the guy who laid it was nearsighted. He didn't see the hill 3 blocks away. Got kind of a tired look, like an old lady who's been moving furniture. There's a dirty gray apartment house on the right-hand side of the street. That's my place. 308. A low ceiling and a leaky faucet, a telephone that rings at the wrong time. It was last Monday night, about 11 o'clock. I was in bed listening to the party next door when it rang. It was the Lion.
Regan, get your clothes on.
That the way you sleep?
You're going to be busy. We got a new client.
Now, tell me all about it in the morning.
Special messenger came to my place 15 minutes ago with a C note.
Any good?
It was from somebody named Dora King.
Who's that?
That's what you're going to find out.
I can see better in the daytime.
She's waiting for you right now.
Oh, yeah.
At a place on La Brea called the Southerner.
Should I take my banjo?
Don't be funny. She wants to talk to you, so get over there.
Well, what does she want to talk about?
How would I know?
Well, don't you ever check into things?
That's what I pay you for.
All right, where's last week's salary?
You'll get it.
When?
As soon as I find out if your expenses were legit. Now get busy.
That all?
No, call me right after you've seen her.
Why?
I want to know what's what.
You mean you want to know if she can afford more than a C note?
You're getting out of line.
That's what they told Gypsy Rose Lee. Well, I got over there about 11:30. Turned out to be a small place, long on the shadows and short on the whiskey. There was a bald-headed guy playing a piano in one corner. I guess he'd been inside for a long time, because he'd never been out for a music lesson. The bartender was the only other guy in the joint. His name couldn't have been Dora King. So I went to work on a straight shot and waited. 2 drinks later, a girl in a black dress walked in. She took in the piano player and the bartender and me. I won. She started toward me with a slow, easy kind of a walk, like a panther looking for breakfast. When she oozed onto the stool beside me, the bartender got damp all over. The air conditioning wasn't doing him any good.
What'll it be, miss?
Make it the same as his.
Okay, bourbon and water.
Got a match?
Yeah?
Got a cigarette?
Mm-hmm.
Got a name?
Maybe.
I'll bet it's Regan.
All right, you got that much.
My name's Dora King. I'm sorry I'm late.
You ever on time when you meet a guy?
No.
Your money, you can spend it any way you want.
You always this nice to customers?
I don't get paid to be nice.
What do you get paid for?
You got a story?
I haven't had my drink yet.
Hey, you!
Coming up. I'm jet propelled. Here you are, miss. Hey, hot night, ain't it?
You waiting for the weather to change?
It ain't gonna change in here, brother.
What's your first name?
Jeff.
I don't like it.
Neither do I.
I'm going to call you Regan.
All right, let's start calling.
Have you got a license?
Covers up a hole in my wall.
Have you got something that says you're what you say you are?
All right. Here.
The lion's eye. 6 feet, 170. Brown eyes. You fit?
Yeah, I got a mole on my left shoulder.
Let me see him. You pass.
Okay, you won the toss. Let's kick off.
Well, this isn't where we play. We'll go in my car.
Where?
You'll find out when you get there.
Maybe I won't like the field.
You trust me, don't you?
No.
Good.
Fill her up again.
We're just leaving.
Floor show starts in a couple of minutes.
That piano player going to be in it?
Yeah, he's my brother. He's going to play something he wrote himself.
Any good?
Stinks. Maybe you better go.
Well, the bartender was pouring himself 4 fingers of rye and about a fingernail of water when we walked out of there. We climbed into a big Nash convertible, parked in front of the place, and headed for Santa Monica Boulevard. Then we turned east, past Western, down to Vermont, and south to Marathon. All at once, we were climbing a hill on a dark street. That gave us a view of the city. 20 years ago, a real estate broker might have had something, but now it was just an old neighborhood with a sad look, like a toe dancer with a short leg. Nobody said anything. I was beginning to have a feeling that maybe she'd forgot her compass when she slowed the car down. She pointed to a 2-story house in the middle of the block, and I nodded. Then she shoved the car in second and spun around the corner and came to a stop. I got out and walked around to let her out. She didn't move.
End of the line.
Short fare.
Time for you to go to work.
What kind of work?
The white place back there, 3936. You saw it?
It came through.
It's a boarding house.
I already got a room.
On the 2nd floor, number 10. Knocked twice.
Prohibition's dead, lady.
There's a man there. His name's Bender. Ben Bender.
That'll wake him up.
He's expecting you.
You're quitting?
My job's finished. You're the new help.
Well, what do I do?
He'll tell you.
That all?
One thing more. Come here.
Part of my fee?
That's extra.
I don't generally get tipped.
Just for luck.
You act like I'm going to need lots of it.
You are.
When do I see you again?
You don't. Goodbye, gorgeous.
I stood there and watched her drive away. And then I noticed it. Somebody in a black coupe coasted around the corner, kicked into high gear at the bottom of the hill. I kept watching, but whoever it was hadn't read the traffic laws lately. He didn't use his lights for 2 blocks. Oh, it registered. He was on a tail job, and Dora was nice to tail. .3936 Marathon. Inside, it smelled like stale beer and rotting wood. Room number 10 was at the top of the stairs. The door was already open. A thin guy with a hungry look was sitting on the edge of the bed. He was all bones. He didn't get up when I came in. He just kind of looked at me, and his eyes were full of water. All of a sudden, he pulled a bandana out of his pocket and began coughing. You're sitting in a draft.
All my life. You Regan?
A girl with warm lips said I'd find you here.
Thanks for coming. Sit down. Hey, just got back from a trip.
Up north?
Yeah.
Sanitarium?
State said I needed a cure.
Did it take?
What do you think?
You're still coughing.
The doctor said I could go. You can give me a going-away present. $10 and a suit of clothes. It's a bum rap.
That's what they all say.
Who I am?
Ben Bender.
Big Ben Bender. Does that mean anything to you, Pilgrim?
Must have been before my time.
Yeah? How old do you think I am?
I'm out of practice.
I'm up to 60. I'm 45. That's what 7 years in the sanitarium will do.
You ought to get a specialist.
Already got one.
What's his name?
You.
No, I'm only an intern.
You'll do.
All right, what do you want?
When the guy goes up there, he makes a lot of friends. And a lot of enemies. Sometimes you can't tell one from the other.
Does it make any difference?
Big Ben don't trust nobody.
No, what about that girl?
Dora? Forget her. Her job's done.
That's what she said.
See this key?
Yeah?
I wear it around my neck. I worn it for 7 years. You'll wear it for the next 7 hours.
Why?
Them friends and enemies I was telling you about.
What does the key fit?
My safety deposit box at the American Security Bank. You meet me there. Tomorrow at 10.
What if I oversleep?
Stay up all night. I'll pay for the no-dose. Just be there.
After that?
Then your job's finished. It's off this door you ever made.
Look, now, you kept this key 7 years. Why can't you keep it for 7 more hours?
My business.
What's in the box?
My business.
Okay. Any of those friends or enemies drive a black coupe, white sidewalls?
I don't know. Why?
My business. I left him sitting there. He looked as happy as a sword swallower with the hiccups. Well, I put the key in my coat pocket, but it felt hot, like a dynamite stick with a short fuse. If Big Ben had been holding it for so long, somebody else might want it. Maybe somebody who drove that black coupe. Well, I went out the back entrance, walked down an alley, and doubled over 5 blocks to Vermont. I stopped a cab, and I had him take me over to the Lyons place. It was 2:30 in the morning when he opened the front door. He was wrapped in a bathrobe big enough to keep all the silkworms working overtime.
What do you want, Regan?
Information.
You been drinking?
I've been working.
What kind of work?
Well, I got a key.
That all?
That's what they say.
Who's they?
A con named Bender.
Ben Bender?
That's right.
I thought he was doing a long run up in Quentin.
Well, he's out now.
Where does Dora King fit?
Taxi service. She took me to Bender. He gave me the key.
Let me see it.
All right, here.
Safety deposit box.
That's right. Nursemaid to a hunk of metal until tomorrow at 10.
What then?
Well, I meet him at the American Security Bank and turn it over to him.
Well, do it.
Now, look, Big Shot, this key's hot.
What makes it hot?
Whatever's in that box.
What's that?
How should I know?
Find out. You got the key?
You got the client.
Now, just a minute.
Somebody waves a greenback at you and you think it's a rainbow.
That's enough.
Oh, stop it, will you? It's another bum client and you know it.
Let me worry about that.
If Ben held that key for 7 years and won't hold it now, he's scared.
What's he got to be scared of?
Somebody else who wants in on the
So
play.
what?
I'm holding the key. That makes me the clay pigeon.
You're getting paid for it. Just be there tomorrow at 10. Alive.
Well, I left the Lion and went out to the street. Nobody was there. I hailed a cab, and he let me off in front of my place. Nobody was there. I opened the front door of my apartment. Nobody was there. I began to feel like a good bet for the Lonely Hearts Club. It was a good feeling. I sat up all that night waiting. Nothing happened. I felt about as popular as a bald-headed chorus girl. Nobody made a play. It was 5 minutes to 10 when I pulled into the parking lot next to the American Security Bank. The car next to me was a black coupe with white sidewalls. It could have been the same one that tailed us the night before. But then I figured there's a lot of cars in L.A. like that. But I leaned in and I looked at the registration. This one belonged to a guy named Al Spandy, who lived in Van Nuys. I wrote the address down and walked into the bank. The guard in a blue uniform waved me downstairs to the safety deposit boxes. It was 10, and still nothing happened. I began to feel kind of relieved, like a flagpole sitter when the wind died down. Big Ben hadn't showed yet. The only one there was a blonde sitting in a glass cage in front of the vaults. She looked at me, and I began to wonder what she did on her days off.
Good morning. May I help you?
Yeah, I want to see if the rent on my box has been paid. Here's the key.
60B. Just a minute, I'll take a look. 60B. 60B's all paid for.
Well, I guess my partner must have taken care of it.
This isn't a joint box. You're the only one who can get into it, Mr. Bender. Would you like to go in now?
No, I'm waiting for somebody.
We're all waiting for somebody.
I'm waiting for a man.
So am I.
Been waiting long?
Years.
Here?
Yes.
Better places to wait.
The ones with money keep coming here. My name's Claire.
I'll remember that.
Will you remember this? Granite 3408.
I'll try it on my phone.
When?
As soon as I get a spare nickel.
I'll give you one.
Well, you'll run out of them that way.
That's why I work in a bank.
Kind of hard on the depositors.
Your, friend's late, isn't he?
I can wait.
Maybe he forgot. You should have tied a string around his finger.
No, lady. He already had one around his neck. Well, she went back to copping nickels, and I sat down in one of the plush chairs and waited. 10:30 came, 11 came, Benda didn't. I began to get an uneasy feeling, like a bubble dancer with a slow leak. At 11:10, I couldn't take any more waiting, so I left to head for Benda's place. Outside the bank, a thin guy with a sharp head was hawking papers. I slipped him the nickel that the blonde had given me, and he handed me a Daily News. I wanted to see what a horse named Larry R. had done at Belmont, but I didn't get beyond the first page. Benda's picture was there, right next to Governor Dewey's, only Ben wasn't running for office. They found him in his room full of bullet holes. I guess he finally got a cure for that cough. I took my car out of the lot and headed for home. I mixed myself a tall one, and I was just getting to the bottom of it when a couple of guys kicked my door open.
Regan?
Yeah.
I'm Lieutenant Anderson, homicide. This is Sergeant Pinelli.
Hiya.
Don't you guys believe in knocking?
My knuckles are sore. Nice stuff.
Well, help yourself. It's out in the kitchen.
Don't drink on the job.
Pinelli?
Me neither.
You boys should have told me you were coming. I'd have called some girls.
Not on the job.
Pinelli?
I got a wife.
All right, Regan, find your hat.
What for?
Well, you want to look nice. We're going downtown, you and me and Pete. Right, Pete?
Right, Andy.
No, it's too hot there.
We thought of that. We'll give you a nice, cool place, won't we, Pete?
Sure will, Andy.
You got a warrant?
No, we just figured you might want to tell us why you did it.
Did what?
Tell him, Pete.
Knock off Ben Bender and burn his feet.
You're out of your mind.
Now, Regan, we know you saw Bender last night. We know you got out of a car on the corner and walked up to his place. We know you were the last one to see him while he was still alive.
You got a witness?
Pretty one. A girl told us.
Oh, you're trying real hard, Anderson, but you haven't got anything.
If you were the last one to see him alive, you're the first one to see him dead. That's how we figured.
Did you figure on a guy named Al Spandy who drives a black coupe?
I never heard of him.
And how about a dozen other hoods who knew Bender?
Now you're trying hard, Regan.
You haven't even got a foundation.
We got the whole building.
It'll never stand up.
We'll see.
All right, you tell me why I did it.
You private eyes get folders on bank jobs.
I get them from Charles Atlas, too.
Bender was in on an $80,000 heist 8 years ago. He went up for carrying a concealed weapon, but the money was never found. You know that the Imperial Bonding Company's offering $5,000 for the recovery of that dough.
A lion.
Don't make any dates tonight. You're not going to be available.
All right, the lion will tell you I was working on a case when I saw Bender.
Oh, we already talked to the lion.
Well, what did he say?
He says he hasn't seen you for 5 days.
Well, I had about as much chance as a violin player with no chin. Anderson and Pinelli took me down and locked me in one of the rooms upstairs. They didn't ask any questions. I guess they figured they had enough answers. Oh, it was a real nice fix. A dame named Dora King takes me to a con named Ben Bender. He slips me a hot key and says meet him in a bank at 10. I'm there on time, getting the phone number of a blonde named Claire, only Ben doesn't show. Somebody burns his feet and fogs him before he can keep the date. And then there's that black coupe registered to a question mark named Al Spandy. And then the lion deals one from the bottom. Oh, it was a screwy picture, and I was right in the middle of the frame. Well, I spent the next 4 hours taking in some free entertainment from the drunk in the next cell.
Okay, Regan, on your feet.
Bastille Day?
You're sprung.
Well, I was getting tired of the floor show anyway.
Try and make it Saturday sometimes. That's our big night.
Hard if I bring a date?
Can I get a phone? I got to phone my wife.
That guy ought to be at Ciro's.
Where do you think we picked him up?
Regan, I'm running out of patience with you. How many times have I told you to keep out of trouble?
Why didn't you tell him I was working on a case?
I went to a lot of trouble to get you out.
And you went to a lot of trouble to get me in.
That was easy. Still got that key to Bender's safety deposit box?
I got it.
Tomorrow morning at 10, you're at that bank getting into the box.
You're crazy. It's in Benda's name.
I'll teach you how to spell it.
I won't do it.
Homicide might like to know you got that key. Now, you listen to me and we'll both make dough.
Where I'd be, I couldn't spend it.
If the $80,000 from the bank job Bender pulled happens to be in that box, like I think it is, Imperial Bonding owes us $5,000 reward.
I don't like it.
You owe it to the company.
Now, listen, you. Bender was knocked off for this key. Whoever wants it might make another try.
Nobody knows you got it.
Well, I'll give it to you, and nobody will know you got it.
Regan, I'm giving you a chance to straighten yourself out.
That's right.
What do you mean?
I feel stiff already. Well, it was a triple play. Homicide to the Lion to the Black Coupe. I went home to wash off some of the jailhouse Lysol. When I walked in the front door, I had company. A gray flannel suit with a yellow tie was sitting on the edge of my bed. Both hands were full. The whiskey was mine. The gun was his. When he saw me, he set down the bottle and walked over and put the gun right against my neck. It felt cold, and I got kind of nervous, like a hula dancer in a forest fire.
Hiya, Regan. Been waiting for you.
You like my liquor?
I'm a rye drinker myself.
Well, bring your own next time.
That ain't being sociable.
You weren't invited.
How could I have been? You don't even know me.
You're Al Spandy. You drive a black coupe.
What'd I have for breakfast?
Egg, and it's all over your tie.
You look hot, Regan.
You have to hold that gun there.
Right there.
Same one you used on Benda?
The same. All right, now gimme, Regan.
I told you, I don't have any rye.
Where's the key?
I don't use one. My door's always open.
I'm talking about that key you got from Bender.
I don't have it.
You hear any music?
Yeah, but I'll sit the next one out.
No, you won't. This is a men's cheat.
I'll step on your toes.
I don't mind. It's a polka, and I want to do it with you.
Oh, it was a long dance, but Spandy didn't get tired. I knew I wasn't going to last the evening out. And then I saw Dora King standing in the doorway back to Spandy. She was taking everything in like a Hoover vacuum cleaner on a dirty rug. She had a .25 in her hand, and she knew how to use it. Thanks for cutting in, lady.
I had to do it. He was killing you.
Yeah, I'll take the gun, huh?
You know I had to do it.
Yeah. Here. Go on, drink it.
Yes.
Now, you want to tell me all about it?
Yes. I wanted to tell you at first, but Ben wouldn't let me.
He's not around to stop you.
Do you think Spandy hurt him much before he killed him?
I wasn't there.
He was sick. He couldn't have taken much.
Why'd you tip the cops on me?
I thought you might have done it. Now I know different.
Tell that to Homicide.
I will.
You better. Spandy can't.
He's dead?
That's right.
You still don't trust me.
No, I don't.
I couldn't help myself once the gun went off. Big Ben was my father.
Yeah?
He didn't want anyone to know. All he wanted was to give me a break.
Why'd he hire me?
He was afraid.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Regan?
Yeah?
May I have the key?
I haven't got it.
You can get it.
Maybe. You know what's in that box?
I think so.
Or why don't I turn it over to the police?
That's my job. Like I told you. I'm Big Ben's daughter.
Yeah, lady. You convinced Spandy. Well, I called Homicide, and Anderson and Pinelli handled it. We all wound up downtown. It didn't take them long to find out that the gun Spandy used on me was the same one that killed Big Ben. Dora gave Anderson her story. He said it would take some fixing, but he could keep her out of the papers. It was justifiable homicide. She wouldn't even be indicted, but they had to hold her overnight. Well, it was almost daylight when I pulled to a stop in front of my apartment. I was beginning to feel a little better, but it didn't last long. When I walked into my place, it looked like the L.A. Dons had been having a scrimmage. Every corner had been going over. Oh, it didn't make sense. Bender was dead, Spandy was dead, Dora King was downtown, but somebody still wanted that key. Well, I crawled into what was left of my bed and set the alarm for 9:30. I didn't sleep much. I kept seeing keys and faces and $80,000 bills. 10 o'clock the next morning, Granite 3408 was still sitting behind the same desk near the same safety deposit vault. She gave me the same look.
I waited for you to call last night.
I spent the nickel.
On a doctor?
I'd like to get into my box.
All right, Mr. Bender, sign here.
All right. Looks like part of the new freeway.
One thing about a vault, it's quiet.
So's a tomb.
We're alone.
Yeah.
Well?
All right, Sunshine, open your eyes. My box number is 60B.
That can wait. I can't.
Easy, baby. You'll set off the alarm.
You and I can make a great team, Bender.
Now, you know my name's not Bender.
What is it?
Regan.
You and I can make a great team, Regan.
Is that what you told Al Spandy?
Why bring up a dead issue?
What's your deal?
You got Bender's key, I got the bank's key. You need both of them to open up the box.
It's good so far. Go on.
Oh, there's $80,000 there. Let's not let it go to waste.
Big Ben waited 7 years to open that box. Look what happened to him.
I waited just as long as Ben, and 7 years is harder on a girl.
How'd you work it?
Ben and I had a great plan. I was the cashier Ben heisted. Only I just gave him a bag full of paper. The real dough's in his box.
Well, that's the safest way. Keep your money in a bank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When it cooled off, both of you go in and pick up the dough together.
That's the way it was supposed to work, only Ben was dumb enough to get himself picked up and tucked away for 7 years.
Oh, you made real good partners. Nobody trusted anybody.
I trust you.
That why you went through my place looking for the key last night?
Girl's got to use her head. Besides, you might have been home.
Ben and Spandy are dead.
We don't have to worry about either of them. The money's still here. We got the keys that'll open the box. Can you add that?
Yeah?
What's the answer?
About 20 years.
What do you mean?
That bonding company will see that you get the full load for grand larceny.
You wouldn't turn me in.
Don't make book on that.
You and I'd make a great team, Regan. We can't lose.
That's what USC thought. Well, I called Anderson and Finelli, and they came out and picked her up. I rode down as far as the office with them, and that wrapped it up. When I told the Lion what had happened, he was as happy as a college boy in a harem. He got on the phone right away and called up Imperial Bonding, told him to make out that reward check for 5 G's to Anthony J. Lyon. But he was real good about it. He took me for a ride in his new Nash convertible. Well, I guess he deserved it. He was really the patsy that had done all the heavy work ever since he bailed me out of jail. 'Cause that's when I slipped Bender's key in his pocket.
Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan, with Herb Butterfield as Anthony J. Lyon. Jeff Regan, Investigator, written by E. Jack Newman and Larry Roman, produced by Sterling Tracy, is heard each week at this time over CBS. Tonight's cast included Ken Christie, Yvonne Patey, Marvin Miller, Paul Frees, and June Martell. Original music for this program is by Dick Arant. Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
From the world of private eyes, we shift to a chilling scheme hatched from the pages of a newspaper in Want Ad from Suspense. A man with a twisted mind uses classifieds to find his prey, but will his latest target prove to be more than he bargained for?
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, we bring you a factual story, the dramatization of one man's deadly way of earning his living. All he needed was the morning newspaper, a telephone, and a gun. So now, starring Mr. Stacey Harris, here is tonight's suspense play, Want Ad.
Well, you see, a guy in my line works alone, more or less. At least he should. But when I first got into town, I met a little lady. And after we'd known each other a couple of months or better, we got married. As a matter of fact, it worked out pretty well because every morning she'd get up ahead of me and fix me some eggs and coffee. Pretty nice, huh? The little lady's name is Wilma.
Baby? Baby?
Hey, you through with the funnies?
Uh-huh. Do you have to work today?
Yeah, afraid so.
Oh, I was hoping we could spend a quiet day together. Here. You know, sort of lie around, look at the paper and everything.
Baby, you know I'd like that, but... Well, I've got other things I have to do.
Leave me all alone to spend the day with myself. I got a new dress. I could wear it.
That's fine, honey. Just fine. I better get busy.
You just never pay any attention.
Hmm?
Well, all right. Oh, baby. I think I'll go into shopping. I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Section 3. Pages 10 to 17. Now then, personals. George, come home. Addie, need you. Some people. Henderson will talk to you about your problem, right, in case... here we are. Okay. 289. Hello. I'm calling about an advertisement in this morning's paper. Do I have the right number? Yes, I am. What kind of a coat is it? Well, that sounds like something I might be interested in seeing. Yes. Will you hold on a minute? I'd like to take that down. Okay. 1425 West... How do you spell that? Y-O-N... Yondota. Mm-hmm. Yes, in about an hour. Thank you. One for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 4 to go, and 5 to make sure, and 6 to blow if I have to. How many women can go out and plunk down the kind of money it takes to walk out of a store with a mink coat? Huh? Not many? Well, for my dough, not any. That means that where there's a mink, you can bet there's a boyfriend or a husband around to pay for it. And you can bet that when the coat's gotta go, that he's already gone, and the lady's gotta eat. Get it? She's all alone, and she wants to sell her coat. How do you do?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Vernon. I called about your advertisement. In the paper this morning.
Oh, yes, Mr. Vernon.
You haven't sold it yet?
Well, no, I haven't.
Oh, good.
Now, I don't want to do business with any dealer. I just don't want to be bothered with any dealers. Half a dozen have called me already. I hope you're not a dealer, Mr. Vernon.
Oh, do I look like a dealer?
Well, I just can't tell anymore. They're very clever people. I just want to sell the coat outright to somebody. Not on any contingency basis or anything just like that. Sell it outright. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. But I'll have to see it before I can make my offer.
Well, all right. Come in.
Thanks.
Well, I'm Mrs. Phelps.
How do you do, Mrs. Phelps? Well, you have a very nice home here.
Oh, thank you.
Lived here long?
2 years. Would you like to step in here, please?
Oh, sure.
Oh, I've been plagued to death with all kinds of dealers. I don't know how, but some of them found my address without even calling the number I put in the paper.
Oh, they do things like that?
Oh, they sure do. Let me tell you, they certainly do. Well, here it is.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's very, very nice. Very, very nice. It's a silver blue mink, isn't it?
Yes.
Mrs. Phelps, could I ask you to put it on? It'd help me. You're about my wife's size.
Oh, sure.
Here.
Now, here, you can see that it's cut very full. See? The sleeves are very full, too.
Mm-hmm.
Bat wing sleeves. And cuffs, too. Makes the coat very luxurious.
Yes, that's a lot of coat there. That's just a lot of coat, Mrs. Phelps.
Well, I love it. I just love it. My husband bought it for me a year ago, and I hate to have to sell it, but, well, I need the money. Now, you can see it's hardly worn at all.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the lining. See? It's all intact. Why, I don't think I wore this coat more than a dozen times.
Mrs. Phelps, how much did it cost retail?
Mr. Phelps paid $4,000 for it. These are the insurance papers. You can see what they insured it for.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now that a friend has already offered me $2,800 for it, and I wouldn't think of selling it for anywhere near that. Why, I'd rather keep it.
Think of selling it for 34?
34?
Yeah.
Well, that's still pretty cheap.
I don't have to tell you that if the coat's a year old, it's a $600 depreciation. That's not bad. I could possibly get the same coat new for $38. I doubt if you'll get a better offer than $34, Mrs. Phelps, and I'm willing to pay right now.
Well, I'd have to talk to my husband first.
Oh, is he here now?
He's not home right now, but he'll be here any minute. Oh, could you come back this afternoon, or maybe...
I came to buy the coat now. I'm leaving town this afternoon. I thought you were ready to sell.
Well, Oh, all right, Mr. Vernon. I'll take your offer.
Oh, good.
But, well, I don't know you at all. Now, you understand you'd have to give me a certified check, or I'd have to keep the coat until your check cleared the bank.
I pay cash. I brought the cash with me.
Oh.
Well, is anything wrong with that?
Oh, no, Mr. Vernon. Why, I just didn't expect to sell it so quickly. I still have the box it came in. It's a perfectly lovely box. I'll give you that for nothing.
It's nice. I would like a box.
You know, Mr. Vernon, you are getting a bargain, a real bargain in this coat. Oh, I tell you, my husband and I looked for almost 2 years before we found a mink that, just suited. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, you can buy any fur coat, mink or sable, I don't care what it is, and 30 days later, you hate the sight of it. But this one, your wife will never get tired of it. Isn't this a pretty box?
Yes, it is.
Now, you tell your wife to be sure and keep it in a fur storage vault during the warm months. You have to take care of mink, that's all there is to it.
Yes, I know. Something like this you really take care of.
Oh, yes. Well, she'll just love it, I know. Do you live around here?
On the east side.
Oh, it's lovely over there, just lovely. Whereabouts?
On the lake.
Isn't that nice? Well, now, there. How does that look?
Just fine.
I'm glad you came in the morning. I'll want to take the money to the bank right away. I hate to have to keep that much money around the house.
Yes, I figured you would, Mrs. Phelps, so I won't bother giving you the money.
What?
Well, then you won't have to make a trip to the bank or worry about money around the house.
Oh, you mean you want to give me a personal check?
I want to give you nothing.
But you did come here to buy this coat. Don't you want it?
Yep. I want it, lady.
Oh, you're a thief.
I sure am. Now, don't scream. Don't open your mouth.
Oh, please, don't hurt me.
All right, over
please,
there.
don't hurt me.
Go on.
Oh,
worth $4,000, 1 year old. Oh, real good buy. You should have seen your face when I told you I'd give you $3,400 for it.
Oh.
I'm a thief. Oh, anybody could buy that coat new for $2,500. It'll bring me about $1,000 in the shape it's in right now. I'm a thief with a gun in my hand, taking what I want. Now you figure out what you'd be if you were counting my $3,400, huh? Oh, you're quite a cute kidder, Mrs. Phelps, but then I'm used to people like you. Now, go on, you get in there.
Please.
Go on, get in.
Don't take my coat, please. It's the only thing I have that's worth anything.
Well, that's how simple it works. I've been in the business for a little while now, and I know a few things about it. Of course, you got to watch your step and be ready for anything that happens, like today. Uh-oh.
Liz? Hey, Liz, I've been trying... Oh. Well, who are you?
Hi, who are you?
Well, I'm Frank Phelps. Who'd you say you were?
I didn't say. Besides, you wouldn't know me anyhow.
Where's Liz? Hey, that's Liz.
Is it?
And that's Liz's coat.
It's my gun.
Why, you... What have you done to her? What's been going on here?
Just hang on to your hat, brother, and you won't get hurt. She's okay.
No cheap crook's going to come into my house and pull a stunt like this.
Now, wait a minute.
I'll show you.
Get down. Down and stay down. Well, you people will certainly have something to talk about over dinner tonight, won't you? Yeah. Something you can talk about, all right. Now, when the hard part's done, and it isn't usually as it was today, the next part is to get a hold of a fence who can use an ice mink coat. It's pretty easy. I use Walter myself. He takes the pain out of everything. I don't go to him, just a little old phone call, and he comes to me.
Sorry.
You what?
Oh, you blew it this time, boy. I don't want this thing. It's too hot. Keep it.
What's with you? You're getting touchy?
I'm not getting anything. I just don't want to do business with you anymore. No, sir.
Oh, now, wait a minute, you.
Get your hands off of me, boy. Get your hands off of me. A smash makes you big time, huh? Is that it? Gun whip turns you into Class A stuff? Now, hands off of me, boy. Last time I'll ask.
There's no sense in us arguing, Walter.
I'm going to try very hard, but I don't think I'm going to like you anymore. You're a killer now.
I'm a what?
A guy Phelps died this afternoon. It's in all the papers.
You shouldn't have run at me.
Oh, is that what you're going to tell the cops when they drag you out of somewhere by the scuff of the neck?
Oh, no cop's going to do that to me.
They always grind off little punks like you, boy. You killed a guy. You beat him to death. You stole his wife's mink coat. There isn't any place they won't look for you, boy. And they know where to look for your kind. They won't stop till they find you. You're gone, boy. Just plain gone. Only you don't know it yet.
You're listening to Want Ad, tonight's presentation on radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
I know maybe a half a dozen fences in town. I only tried 2 of them after Walter. Those fellas are kind of chicken about some things. They get a little action with a piece of merchandise and they get scared. Of course, they're all afraid of something or the other.
Are you thinking, hon? Is that what you're doing, thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
About that man. Didn't he want the coat?
No, he didn't want it.
Such a pretty coat. Oh, baby. I wish we had a fireplace. I wish we had a big, big fireplace and we could just sit in front of a fire on a rainy night like this and everything. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, baby?
Yeah, sure would.
We could drink hot coffee maybe and listen to music. Make fudge, huh? Do you like my new thing?
What?
This. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, it's like like a whole $1,000,000.
I liked it, so I bought it just like that. You hardly looked.
I'm going to have to leave town. I'll have to get out of here. to go where they can't find me. That's what I'll do. I'll leave town. It'll be okay. Pretty soon they won't be looking for me, and everything will be all right.
Baby?
Just take a couple of things. A suit, some shirts. Won't be hard. There's nothing to stop me from getting out of town.
Oh, baby.
Honey, what's the matter? I say something?
You're going to leave me.
Oh,
You're
now,
going
look,
away.
kid, I have to go. Don't you understand? Puddin', I have to leave town. If I don't, they're going to get me.
They won't get you here. Just stay here with me.
Honey, I have to go. Now, look, I have to go.
Take me with you.
What?
Let me go with you, and we can have some real nice time some other place.
Wait a
The
minute,
same as we did here, please.
Sure. Sure, I'll take you. I'll take you with me.
Oh, baby, you're so good to me.
Wait a minute. I haven't got time for that. We've got to get busy. We've got to get a car first.
But we haven't got any money.
Look, how did I get the coat? How'd I get all those other coats?
Oh, but Ralph, you can't do that anymore. That man who was here said they're looking for you. You can't do that anymore. They'll be waiting for you.
He says I can't. I say I can. Now, don't you see how I use my head? All right, they're waiting for me. Okay. But they're waiting for a guy with a fur coat on his mind. But, baby, I'm now a guy with a car on his mind. Get it?
Oh, baby, you're so smart. Oh, gee, you're smart.
Well, sir, with little old Wilma wiggling around in my arms, I began to go over the new idea myself. It's pretty good. So the next day when the paper came, I went right to work.
I wish it was a Rolls Royce, honey. I always wanted a Rolls Royce.
Well, someday maybe I'll get you one, honey.
Baby, I love that.
Wait a minute. Hello? Sorry, wrong number. That was a man. What's the next number there, baby?
PR. I guess that's prospect. 3217.
3217.
For sale. Like new. Late model, convertible, private party.
Hello? You advertised a late model convertible for sale? I see. What make is it? Uh-huh. How much are you asking? Well, could you give me an approximate amount? Yeah, I see. Well, when will your husband be home? Well, I'd like to come around and see it. Okay. Yeah. 27 Pier Pond. Yes, thank you. Hey, baby, this is the one. This is the one.
Which one is the one?
Like new late model convertible.
Oh. Well, what was the matter with the others, baby?
I told you. A man answered on the others I called. This time a woman answered.
Oh.
Don't you see? It's the same thing. A woman trying to sell a car or a coat. She's alone, no one around. It makes it safer.
Oh, I see. Do you like my new hat?
Yeah, fine. It's a knockout, baby. Real knockout.
I'll wear it in the car. What kind of car did you say it is?
It's convertible. Big new convertible.
Oh, we'll look so swell going down the highway in a big convertible. Maybe we can put the top down.
Sure we can. Now, look, I told her we'd be right over to look at the car. You come with me, huh? It'll look better if you come with me.
Oh, there won't be any trouble. I mean, the police are looking for you, aren't
Now,
they?
you let me worry about the police. There won't be any trouble at all. You just keep your new hat on and come with me, baby, huh?
All right. I'll dress all up.
Well, it took her a while, but I finally got her over there. It's a very nice-looking house. Just the kind of a place where they had to have a convertible to show off a little bit. Just my meat. Wilma thought it was a very nice place, too. Baby? The gum?
Oh, juicy fruit. Want some?
No. Take the gum out, baby.
Oh.
And, look, you better let me do all the talking. I've been at this kind of thing for a long time now, huh?
You know best. Do I look all right?
Yeah, swell. Just swell.
Hello?
Hello. I'm the man about the car.
Oh, yes.
I'm Mr. Watson. This is Mrs. Watson?
Oh, come in, please. Come in.
Well, you see, we'd like to see the car if we could. We're in kind of a hurry.
The car's in the garage in the back. It's just easier to come through the house.
Oh, I see. All right. Good.
This way.
Something funny about this.
What?
If she had a car for sale, she'd have it sitting out in the driveway in front, not hidden out in the garage.
After the rain last night, I thought it best to keep it in the garage. I wanted it to look nice to show today.
Oh, silly, come on.
I'll bet you two are newly married.
Oh, no.
We've been married for some time now.
You just look like newlyweds somehow. This way.
Hello.
Oh.
This is my husband, Mr. and Mrs. Watson.
Hello, Mr. Watson.
How do you do, I'm sure.
You seem familiar, Mr. Watson. You lived here long?
No, just passing through, as a matter of fact.
Where you staying?
At the Alpine Hotel.
How long did you say you've been in town?
A week.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an electrician.
Where'd you say you were from?
Cleveland.
What part?
Shaker Heights.
This must be quite different than Shaker Heights, eh, Mrs. Watson?
Oh, it is. Isn't it?
Eh? What do you think of the car?
Boy, I haven't really had a chance to look at it yet.
Well, there she is. Take a look.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice car, all right. What are you asking for it?
Blue Book's paying $32 for this model right now. Cost you $38 on a lot. We'll compromise. $35.
Well, sounds pretty good. It's a little steep, though. I'll tell you what, how about $34?
Can you get someone to carry the papers?
Well, I can pay for it myself.
You brought cash?
No, but I can go over to the bank and get it if you'll give me an hour.
No cash, huh?
Well, you didn't expect me to walk in here with $3,400 on me, did you? Well, I don't know you people from Adam. No offense, you understand, but a man would be crazy to carry that much money around strangers.
What bank?
What was that?
He asked you what bank you'd go to get the money.
Oh, well, any bank. I just draw a draft on myself on my Cleveland account.
You say you're an electrician, Mr. Watson.
Yes, that's right.
Is your name really Watson?
What's that?
Don't you usually look for fur coats?
Look for what?
What's your real name?
Huh?
Your real name. What is it?
Baby.
Shut up.
Let her talk.
Now, look, mister, I came here to buy a car. Now, what is this, huh?
There's the car. Buy it.
Well, I'd like to try it out first. Baby, will you shut up? Now, come on, please, shut up.
You have some identification.
Identification? Baby, will you just shut up?
What's the matter with your wife?
I don't know. I don't know.
We thought you might be needing a car.
You thought what?
I said we thought you might be needing a car to make a trip in.
Mister, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know a man named Phelps? Frank Phelps?
1425 West Yondoda
Now, look, I told you, I'm new here. I don't know this town at all. I don't know any Frank Phelps.
Frank Phelps was killed yesterday. A man went into his house, stole a mink coat from his wife, then used his gun on Frank Phelps when he came home unexpectedly. He beat him to death, Watson. Just stood there and beat him to death.
I don't know any Frank Phelps.
I think you do.
I don't, I tell you. I don't. Do I, baby?
No, honest, he doesn't, and neither do I.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
You know we're police officers, don't you?
Yes.
I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
Why are you wearing Mrs. Phelps' mink coat?
What?
I didn't think you'd mind. You never pay any attention to the things I wear. You just never pay any attention at all. Oh, baby.
Baby?
Huh?
Let's go.
We went. And let me tell you this in case you want to think something over later. Always work alone. Always. That's one little old rule I'm sticking to from now on. Yes, sir, and the next time it's going to be different. But, well, that don't make any difference either, because there isn't going to be any next time for me.
Suspense, in which Mr. Stacey Harris starred in tonight's presentation of Want Ad. Suspense is produced and directed in Hollywood by Anthony Ellis. Tonight's script was written for Suspense by E. Jack Newman. The music was composed by Rene Garrigank and conducted by Leith Stevens. Featured in the cast were Mary Jane Croft, Paula Winslow, Joseph Kearns, Virginia Gregg, Jack Moyles, and Lou Krugman.
Now, let's ride into the iconic Dodge City with Gunsmoke. Our first stop, the Indian Horse, finds Marshal Dillon caught between the simmering tensions of townsfolk and soldiers. A horse race is on the horizon, but will it bring glory or ignite a powder keg of violence?
Around Dodge City and in the territory out west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, the United States Marshal.
And as the peace officer of...
My gracious, Mr. Dillon, there's old Lank Dean. I haven't seen him in town for over a year. Got his wife with him, too.
And the wagon's filled with kids?
Well, how'd you know Lank had brung the kids along?
Well, he always does.
Oh.
But, John...
Hey, look, there's the Pilcher boys.
Pardon?
And way down there is Emma Gold. Ain't
Is
seen her in town for a spell either.
not in the area. Respectfully, Matt Dillon. U.S. Marshal. That does it. Chester,
Yes, sir?
will you shut the door? You're letting in all the flies in Kansas.
But, Mr. Dillon, I can't...
Shut the door, Chester. You can go out or stay in, but shut the door.
Yes, sir. No, Mr. Dillon, this town's just busting with people. All here for the races tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
You going out to the flats tomorrow?
I don't know, Chester.
Well, you don't sound like you hanker after going too much.
Well, I don't. I wish Colonel Benson's officers would forget about horse racing.
Well, I guess they figure their Army Greys are about the best horses in the country.
Well, everybody knows the cavalry has good horses. They don't have to prove it every 4 or 5 months.
Well, Mr. Dillon, I just plain don't understand. Ain't nobody likes a horse race better than you.
I know, Chester. I like 'em fine, but that's not...
Marshal Dillon?
Yeah, that's right.
Lieutenant Flagg, sir, Fort Dodge.
Oh, sit down, Lieutenant.
Colonel Benson's compliments, sir. And he requests your presence at the fort tomorrow.
For the races?
That's right, sir. The colonel feels that a peace officer out there would be, a steadying influence.
I see. And, I take it you don't.
No, Marshal, I don't. We can police our own activities.
I see.
After all, we're certainly competent to handle a bunch of sodbusters.
Well, the last time there were races out at the fort, 3 men were shot. Is that how you would handle things, Lieutenant?
I wasn't stationed at Fort Dodge then, Marshal. But I know this. If people around here want to bet their stock against Army Mouse, they shouldn't complain if they lose.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been out here, Lieutenant?
I was stationed in Virginia until 2 months ago.
I thought so.
What do you mean?
Look, Lieutenant, out here, when men have something to complain about, they sometimes do it with a 6-gun. They don't all have the respect for the Army that you have.
They would if I had the say of it.
Oh, maybe, but you don't.
Like with the Indians. A lot of the junior officers feel as I do. We'd go after them, force them into the open.
And bring on another Indian war?
And we'd beat them.
But it would cost more than you'd believe, Lieutenant.
Not if the 3 I saw leaving Dodge a while back were any example. An old man on a shaggy gray pony and 2 young boys.
That was a Kiowa, Lieutenant. He's a chief, and those 2 braves are his sons. His name's Howling Dog.
You seem to know a good deal about Indians, Marshal.
Lieutenant Flagg, you're a young officer. You're ambitious and you're eager, but you talk too much, and you don't even know part of what you're talking about.
Now, look here.
Tell Colonel Benson I'll be out there tomorrow.
Very good, Marshal.
And, Lieutenant.
Yes?
I've known Howling Dog ever since I came to Kansas. He's old, but he isn't stupid. So, don't guess wrong about him.
His pa sure must have hated the world, Mr. Dillon.
Ah, he's young, Chester. He'll learn.
Yes, sir. But you know, sometimes fellas grow up and don't improve a bit.
Oh, there you are. Well, hello, Matt. Chester.
How are you, Doc?
I passed a young lieutenant on the way out. Is Chester enlisting in the Army, Matt? Oh, Chester in the Army.
My gracious, Doc.
What's on your mind, Doc?
Oh, well, just thought you should know. I won't be around town tomorrow. I'm taking the day off.
Oh, is that so?
Yep, I'm going out to the fort for the races. Might even work up some business.
Thought you was taking the day off.
Chester. Say, Matt, that fella Hunter out there, regimental surgeon, you know.
Yeah?
Well, he thinks he's the only good doctor around these parts.
Well, ain't he?
He... Oh, well. Now, Matt, if you were going to be out there, you might push a little practice my way. The last time, Hunter got 6 cases out of 7. The only man he let me have was dead.
Well, look, Doc, I'll tell you, if Lieutenant Flagg was running things, maybe we could arrange a whole massacre for you.
Well, who's Lieutenant Flagg?
The lieutenant you seen leaving.
Yeah, Colonel Benson sent him in, Doc. Seems I've got an official invitation just to make sure the civilian element don't get to shooting each other.
Oh, now, Matt, you don't think they'd do that again, do you?
No, Doc. If there's any trouble out there this time, it won't be the townspeople that start it. It'll be Lieutenant Flagg and his crowd.
Oh, that's so? Well, how's that, Matt?
Well, he's got no use for anything but Army. And he just as soon shoot an Indian as see one.
Well?
Howling Dog's in this part of the country again, Doc.
Oh?
And I wouldn't be too surprised but what he shows up at the races tomorrow.
You'd think this was the first horse race ever run, Matt.
Yeah.
Seems like the betting's running high. Just talking to the Pilcher boys. They're betting everything they own on a Missouri mare they brought out here.
Well, I've seen her, Chester. She's a good mare.
Oh, I've never heard so much horse talk in my life as I have tonight. Pastern, stifled, gaskins, forequarters, hindquarters, short coupled, long barreled. Well, I tell you, Matt, it kind of makes a girl wonder.
Oh, don't you worry, Kitty. There'll be other
Well,
nights.
there better be. Hey, Matt, look there, coming in the door.
What?
Oh, it's that Lieutenant Flagg and some other officers.
Yeah. They're down here to fan the fire, I guess.
What do you mean?
Now, the more they get this crowd worked up, the higher the betting will be.
Oh?
Jinkies, I wish I had some money to bet.
Well, just be glad you haven't, Chester.
Good evening, Marshal.
Lieutenant Flagg, Miss Russell.
How do you do?
Miss Russell. Lieutenants Dryden, Lawson, Mao.
How do you do? Well, gentlemen, is anyone drinking?
I think we all are. Bartender, set out some glasses. You'll join us, won't you, Miss Russell?
Oh, why, thank you, Lieutenant.
You too, Marshal?
Well,
I think I'll just walk down to the other end of the bar, Mr. Dillon. It's crowded here.
Hey, you fellas from Fort Dodge, ain't you?
That's right.
You own some of them Army Grays that are going to run tomorrow?
We do.
Hey, well, my name's Pilcher, Cy Pilcher. I got some money to bet on my mare. I'll match her any way you say.
Well, I'll take your bet, Mr. Pilcher. Name it.
Gentlemen?
$500 silver. Run 3, 4, 500 yards.
That's a lot of money.
You mean you ain't got it?
I'll go with you, Flag. All right, it's a bet then.
Good. I'll see you tomorrow then. Out to the fort.
Well, gentlemen,
Easy as
here's
sticking a pig. That fella wouldn't know a horse from a Missouri mule.
Maybe that's what he's got.
From his looks, he could be running himself.
Here now, you dirty pig.
All right, hold it, Pilcher.
There ain't no man can name me like that.
Hold it, I said.
You, wearing a uniform, calling yourself a soldier. I was fighting outside of Atlanta while you were still nursing.
Listen, you...
All right. Now, that's enough. Now, Pilcher, you get down to the other end of the bar. And as for you, gentlemen, you better start back for the fort.
Now, look, Marshal, we don't have to
Move. All of you.
Come on, Flag. Let's go.
Well, at least they paid for the bottle before you ran them off. You want a drink?
No, Kitty, not for me. Thank you. You go ahead.
Look, Matt, you can't stop trouble every time before it starts.
No, I can't, Kitty. But I wish tomorrow was done with.
Well, afternoon's most gone, Mr. Dillon. There hasn't been any trouble yet.
Now, the whiskey isn't gone, though, and there's still a race to come. Flag's been holding it off.
Yes, sir. Well, at least here on the finish line, we can see which way the money's going.
Matt! Oh, Matt.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Well, we haven't seen you all afternoon, Doctor. Where you been?
Oh, well, just playing pinochle with some of the boys. Things have been dull, but they won't be in a minute.
Oh, why?
Flag and Pilcher are down there at the start now. You see them? The big race is due any minute.
Yeah. Chester.
Yes, sir?
You keep your eyes open. And as soon as they cross the finish line, you get to Pilcher, and I'll pick up Flag.
All right, sir.
Yeah, let's see. Any minute now. Any minute they'll be... Here they come! Come on!
All right, get moving, Chester. I'll find Flag.
Yes, sir.
All right. Pardon me, will you... Excuse me, please. Yeah, will you pardon me, please?
Walk that horse good, Sergeant.
Well, Lieutenant, you got a fast horse there.
Fastest on the post.
Yeah. Now, the Pilcher boys lost about everything they had just now.
You preaching at me, Marshal?
No, Lieutenant, I've seen horse races before.
Yeah, he won easy, Marshal.
I guess he did, Lieutenant Mall.
And he could have won from any other horse just as easy.
Maybe.
Well, Flag, you beat my mare. Thought maybe I might have won, but you got a good horse. Real good horse.
You getting ready to talk me out of my money?
You're not much of a man, but you got a good mount, and I'm paying you. Here. $500 silver. Come on, Tom, let's go home.
Well, Marshal, the races are over. The Army won, and no trouble. You sorry?
I got no complaints, Lieutenant Flag.
Looks like the colonel was worried about nothing. Thinking there might be some hotheads out here. Matter of fact, I was kind of hoping for some fun along with the running. Maybe you are a steadying influence, Marshal.
Now, you look here, young fella, soldier boy.
Chester,
or no soldier.
take it easy.
Hey, Flag. Look over there.
Well, if it isn't that old Kyle, a howling dog. Well, you want some fun?
Why not?
Flag.
Gonna challenge him to a race, Marshal.
He's an old man, Lieutenant.
Come on, Mal. We'll go talk to him.
What are you going to do, Mr. Dillon?
We'll go over, too. Flag's feeling mighty big right now and looking for trouble.
All right. It looked to me like folks was all leaving a minute ago. Now they seem to be drifting back.
Yeah.
What do you think old Howling Dog's going to do?
I don't know, Chester.
This is Lieutenant Mao.
I know Army officers.
You speak good English for an Indian.
I am chief of tribe.
Chief? I hear you, Kiowa, ride good horses.
Yeah. Horses help us hunt.
And I hear they're fast. Now, you've been sitting here all afternoon. You saw the races.
Yeah, I saw.
You saw my horse run. You think any of your horses could beat him?
Yes.
Which one, Howling Dog? Your son's horses or the one you're riding?
Anyone.
Any one of these three? Here's one of them could run 400 yards and live.
All right. All right, now stop deviling him, Flag.
I'm not doing anything, Marshal. He tells me his horses can beat mine. I don't think they can.
If you want a race, set one up, but don't fun him.
Will you race my horse, Howling Dog?
I will race.
Which horse?
The one I ride.
Hey, Flag, did you ever see a sorrier sheep?
You want to bet on the race, Howling Dog?
Kiowa got no money.
Well, you must have something.
If I lose, I give you a horse.
I wouldn't want him. But I'll take that little beaded sack you're wearing around your neck.
Yeah, that Indian medicine.
You say you could beat me, so there's nothing to worry about.
If I lose, I give Army man medicine sack.
Good. Well, I'll get Sergeant Crockett to bring my horse over here, will you?
I'll be right back.
Now, Howling Dog, what distance do we race?
You say.
All right. We'll race from here down to that wagon with the broken wheel and back again. That's about 500 yards. Marshal, you can mark the start and finish.
All right. Now, Howland Dog, do you understand? From here to the wagon and then back again. The first man to pass me coming back wins.
Yeah.
Here you are, Flag. Had a chance to blow. Good shape.
Good.
Lieutenant Mao, would you step over here a minute? I'd like to talk to you.
Sure, Marshal.
You ready, Chief?
I am ready.
You can ride dressed like that?
Yes.
Okay, Marshal. Fine with me. Hey, Flag. That Indian gonna ride in his blanket?
You can ride in a tent for all I care.
Army man.
Yes?
What you give me when I win?
When you... What do you want? Money?
No.
What then?
Uniform.
Yeah. You mean what I'm wearing?
Yes.
Well...
Why not, Flag? What difference does it make? He won't win anyway.
All right. It's a bet, Chief.
Just a minute, Lieutenant.
What is it, Pilcher?
My horse couldn't do it. Maybe the Chief's can. I ain't got any money left, but I'll bet my saddles and wagon and 4 mules against 500.
It's a bet.
All right. Chester.
Yes, sir?
You hold the money, huh?
Yes, sir. And I might just take about $5 on the Indian, too, Lieutenant.
It's a bet.
Anybody else?
I've done all right today. I'll take 100.
You're a fool, but now that's a bet.
As soon as I'm mounted, I'll be ready, Marshal.
All right. You ready, Howland Dog?
Ready.
All right, now to that wagon and back across this line, then. You there, would you ride down and clear those people out of the way, please? All right, move up on the line. Now I'll fire one shot. All right, steady now.
Look at him go, Mr. Dillon. Come on, Howling Dog. Can he do it?
I don't know, Chester.
Looks like Flag's ahead.
Yeah, he's swinging wide for the wagon.
Looky there, that ugly little pony can sure run.
Yeah. Well, they're into the turn, Chester.
Hey, Mr. Dillon, what happened?
Well, look, Howling Dog dropped his blanket.
Why, he's naked as a jaybird.
Come on, you Indian, ride!
Come on, Howling Dog, come on!
He's doing it, Chester! He's doing it! He's doing it!
I got to laugh so hard I coughed the hiccups.
Oh, my. Oh, it was a sight, a sight. I tell you, oh, there's nothing quite as ineffectual as a man in long johns.
You know, I imagine Lieutenant Flagg will have some explaining to do when Colonel Benson sees him.
I wish I'd been there.
Oh, my. Oh, no place for a lady, Kitty.
You know, Howling Dog just sat there while Flagg cursed and begged, but then when the lieutenant paid off, he just turned and rode away.
With most of the lieutenant's uniform draped around his shoulders.
You know, Mr. Dillon, he sure seemed pretty calm about it all.
Well, he was sure enough of his horse, Chester.
Sure he'd win, you mean?
Well, sure, that's right.
Well, why, Matt? Army horses are pretty good stock.
Well, sure they are, Kitty, but there's always one around somewhere that's better, and Howling Dog has it.
Well, if that horse is so good, Matt, why doesn't Howling Dog clip him up some so he don't look like a goat?
Doc, let me tell you something. Howling Dog's been winning races with that horse for a long time now. He's been to half the army posts on the frontier.
What? He has? Well,
that's right.
Well, why don't people learn not to bet against him then?
Well, Chester, because lots of them are like Lieutenant Flagg. They gotta make fun of somebody that looks weaker or different than they do.
Yeah. Well, now, Matt, you said you knew about this before.
Yeah.
Did you know old Howling Dog was going to win today out there?
Well, Doc, I was just sure enough to win a $50 bet from Lieutenant Mowell. Sam, see what the gentleman will have.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Mr. MacDonald, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Harry Bartell, Ralph Moody, Paul Savage, and John Daner. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Gunsmoke has been selected by the Armed Forces Radio Service to be heard by our troops overseas. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
We stay in Dodge for our final drama, another powerful episode of Gunsmoke titled The Cue. A newcomer arrives, bearing the weight of cultural difference. But in a town fueled by prejudice, can he find acceptance, or will he become a victim of hate?
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke.
William Conrad, the story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Creeping that poor little fellow. Mr. Dillon?
What?
Mr. Dillon.
What are you so riled up about, Chester?
Press Braden and Howard Rab.
What are those bullies up to now?
Well, see, you won't never believe it, but there's a real Chinaman here in town. A little Chinese fellow with a pigtail and all. He just come into Dodge on a freighter's wagon, and right now Braden and Rab, they got him pushed up against the wall out there.
What are they doing to him?
Well, they're deviling him and poking fun at him. I told them to leave him alone, but, Mr. Dillon, I wish you'd go tell him.
All right, Chester. I'll go tell them.
If there's anything I hate, it's a bully.
Maybe they're just curious about him. He's the first Chinaman I ever knew of in Dodge.
Wait till you hear him. Here they are. Look. I don't think you understand one word they're saying. He just backed up there staring at him, holding tight that little old box he's got.
Maybe that's what they want.
That little box? That's probably just his medicine or something.
He's not an Indian, Chester.
No, sir, he ain't. But maybe them Chinese fellas has medicine, too. Look how he's hanging on to it.
Don't talk real good, do you, Rad? Somebody must have split his tongue. Oh, no. You know Chinese boys all sound like that. Now, look, fella. I'm just asking you one more time. What are you doing in Dodge?
Oh, me catchy job. Me all the time working hard.
Oh, job, huh? Well, I sure hope you ain't brought your family with you.
No family. One man and one boy. All the same me.
Well, that's one good thing.
Why shouldn't the man have a family, Rab?
Oh, yeah. Hello, Marshal.
I said, why shouldn't he have a family?
Oh, well, you want a lot of Chinamen running around loose here?
What's your name, fella?
Chen Lang Wong. Me good boy. Catch him place Dodge City all the time. Working hard.
Chen, I'm the U.S. Marshal here, and you're welcome in Dodge. You can stay here as long as you like.
What are you mixing him this for,
You got no business protecting him, Marshal. He's just dirty fawn, ain't he?
Except for the Indians, we're all foreigners here, Braden. Chen, I told you you're welcome, and you are. And if either one of these men bother you again, you come and tell me about it.
Now, look, Marshal, you look at that little box he's got. That's probably full of money that he stole somewhere. No money. Chen no stealing no money. Who's gonna believe you?
Get out of here, you two.
Huh?
Go on, move.
See about this later.
I never heard nothing like it. The law protected.
Chen no like you bring trouble, Marshal.
I'll worry about the trouble, Chen. Tell me, what kind of work do you do?
We catch on place. Very good cook.
A cook, huh?
Oh, yes.
Well, what kind of cooking do you do, Chen?
All kind. Chinese cookie, American cookie, all kind.
Say, you know what, Mr. Dillon? We ought to take him over to Delmonico's.
Oh, why?
Well, sir, Mr. Green fired the cook he had there yesterday. Might be he ain't found another one yet.
All right, Chester, you take him over. Chen, you remember what I said about Rab and Braden. You come tell me if they give you any trouble.
Millions know that the best laxative ever made is Haley's M.O. And now you can get it in a wonderful new flavored form. Yes, flavored, Haley's M.O. Just imagine. It's a laxative that tastes so good, everyone will be delighted with it, children and adults alike. And remember, ordinary laxatives provide only a certain amount of relief, for irregularity is usually accompanied by acid stomach upset, and ordinary preparations pass right through your stomach without helping one bit. But because Haley's M.O. contains the two most widely approved and time-tested ingredients known, it works first in your stomach to relieve excess acidity, and then where other preparations act to relieve irregularity. By giving you thorough relief, Haley's M.O. makes you feel better, infinitely better than ordinary preparations do. And Haley's M.O. is so gentle, it's recommended even for surgical patients. So buy Haley's M.O. today. Look for the big letters M-O on the package. Get either the plain form or the new flavored Haley's M.O.
Mr. Green.
Green at Delmonico's took a chance and hired Chen Wong that day. And it turned out he wasn't lying about being a good cook, and neither was he lying about working hard. Mr. Green let him sleep in a storeroom off the kitchen, and there he stayed, out of sight, and for a while, out of trouble.
Oh, hello, Matt. Come in.
Hello, Doc.
I'll be right with you as soon as I finish with Chen Wong here.
No, what's the matter with Chen?
There, lying right there, you see? That's what was the matter with him.
You lost a tooth, aren't you?
There you are, Chen, I'm through. See, you better let me take a look at that in a day or two, huh?
Thank you, Doctor. I'll come back. How much do I owe you?
Oh, $1.
May I pay you next time? See, I won't get my salary from Mr. Green until Saturday. I have no money except for that.
Oh, sure, Chen, anytime.
Chen, the first time I saw you, you were being a very good Chinese boy, all the time worky hard, catch 'em job, that sort of thing.
Isn't that how a Chinaman's supposed to talk, Marshal?
Well, I thought it was, till just now.
Oh, some of my countrymen do talk like that, Marshal. English is a very difficult language for us.
Oh, what about you?
I was more fortunate than most. When I first came to America, I worked for a man who was very kind. He taught me, made me study and practice several hours every day.
Oh, I see. Well, why were you talking the other way when I first saw you?
Experience has taught me that many men resent a Chinaman who does not talk the way they expect him to. I wish to avoid trouble.
Chen's on his way to San Francisco, Matt. He's going home as soon as he can save up enough money for his passage.
Oh, well, I wish you luck, Chen.
Thank you, Marshal. Well, I must get back to work now. Good day, gentlemen.
So long, Chen.
Goodbye.
Yeah. He's a nice fella.
Yeah, he is.
I believe him about being broke, too.
Why shouldn't you, Doc?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
Pless Braden and Howard Rabb. They've been saying Chen's got lots of money. Now, they say he keeps it hid in that little box of his.
Oh. Yeah, with that kind of talk going around, Chen's in trouble. There are men besides Braden and Rabb who would murder him for his money and not even think it was a crime.
Suppose you're right, Matt.
I think I'll catch up with him and have a talk, Doc. I'll see you later. I had that talk with Chen, and I tried to get him to put his box in the bank and then let everybody know that he'd done so, but he said that he wanted the box near him and that he'd keep it hidden in his room. I couldn't argue him out of it, so I knew there'd be trouble. Sure enough, a couple of days later it happened, though not the way I'd expected. It was noon, and Chester and I went into Delmonico's for dinner.
Say, this place is plumb deserted, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, maybe it's closed.
There's Mr. Green.
Green, you closed today?
Hello, Marshal. Chester?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm closed, Marshal. I got no cook.
What?
Chen, he won't cook today. I don't know what's the matter with him. He won't even talk.
Oh, where is he?
Sitting in his room back there on the floor. Just sitting there, staring at his hand.
Well, maybe he's sick.
No, he ain't sick. There's something wrong with him. Maybe you can find out what it is, Marshal. He might talk to you.
Yeah, sure, I'll try.
It's a storeroom right off the kitchen, Marshal. Door's open.
Yeah, I'll find it. Hello, Chen.
Hello, Marshal.
Okay, can I come in? I'd like to talk to you.
Come in.
How's your tooth? Giving you any trouble?
No.
Tell me something, Chen.
What, Marshal?
Do you consider me a friend?
I believe you are.
Well, good. Then maybe you'll let me help you.
In what way?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to tell me what's wrong first.
It would be difficult for you to understand, Marshal.
Well, maybe, but tell me anyway.
I'm Chinese, Marshal. And I've lived many years in America, but I am still Chinese.
Yeah, go on.
Years ago, my country was overrun by a tribe of Tartars called the Manchus. As they took each city, they required the inhabitants to shave around their heads, leaving only a long strand of hair to be braided into a queue. It was a sign of subjugation. But that has been forgotten. And now the queue, or pigtail, as you call it, is of great importance to us.
Wait a minute, Chen. I just noticed. Where's yours?
To lose the queue is a great disgrace to us, Marshal.
Who did it, Chen?
2 men. The same 2.
You mean Braden and Rab?
They came here last night. They wanted my treasure box.
And you wouldn't tell them where it was, so they cut off your pigtail, is that it?
They took it away with them, Marshal. That makes my disgrace even worse.
Chen, will it help any if I get it back for you?
If I don't get it back, I must kill those 2, Marshal.
No, don't you go killing anybody. You let me handle this.
I'm very sorry, Marshal, for all the trouble.
You just wait here, Chen. I'll see what I can do.
Well, if it ain't Marshal Dillon. You gonna buy us a drink, Mark?
I thought I told you men to stay away from Chen Wong.
Chen Wong? Now what's he hollering about?
His pigtail. He wants it back.
I don't know what you're talking about, Marshal.
Yes, you do.
Chen's lying to you, Marshal. All them heathen foreigners is lying.
Rab. I want that pigtail now. Where is it?
I don't know nothing about it, I tell you. It was not us, honest. Now, Marshal, we did not do it.
Maybe I ought to beat the truth out of you.
Oh, we're telling you the truth now, Marshal.
I don't believe you. You get that pigtail back to Chen or you're in trouble.
No, what do you mean, trouble?
You'll find out when it's too late. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. I went back to Chen and I tried to explain things to him. I told him what had happened if he killed anybody, but that didn't bother him. And then I got mad at him for being so stubborn, and I guess he figured I didn't understand it all. So I left him feeling pretty helpless. The next day, he made his first move. I found out about it at the Long Branch.
Oh, it sure has been a long day, Matt. I'm worn out, and I got the whole night ahead of me yet.
Oh, well, what happened today, Kitty?
Oh, well, Sam over there got the bright idea of offering every other drink on the house to any soldier that walked in here.
Well, that's one way of keeping your saloon full.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. And if this goes on, I might as well move out to Fort Dodge and join the Army. I think it'd be easier.
I'm sure they'd be glad to have you, Kitty.
Marshal Dillon.
Yeah, what's on your mind, Rab?
That Chinaman, that's what. He's haunting us, me and Braden, and if he don't stop it, I'm going to put a bullet in him.
What do you mean he's haunting you?
Why, all afternoon he's been following us. Wherever we go, he just stands around staring at us. Why, it drives men crazy after a while. Now, I'm warning you, Marshal. I'm going to shoot him.
Good. Then I can come to your hanging.
Rabbit told you before to give Chen back his pigtail. He won't bother you if you do.
You still believe him, don't you, Marshal?
I believe him.
Well, it's a fine thing when a U.S. Marshal takes the word of a stinking, dirty little...
Shut up! Now, you get out of here, Rab. Go on.
All right, I'm going.
Matt, you better do something about that. They'll kill Chen for sure.
Unless he kills them first, Kitty. But I'll tell Chester to keep an eye on him. I'll see you later.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Mr. Dillon.
Where did you lose them, Chester?
Well, see, they was in the Texas Trail having a drink, and I was watching them like you told me. Then Orlo Watts come up and started talking to me, and next I looked, they was gone, all 3 of them, so I come after you.
We'll find them.
Yes, I sure do hope so. Jim was carrying his little box, Mr. Dillon, right under his arm. He was... Look over yonder. What's everybody crowding up that alley for?
Well, let's go see.
All right, let Mr. Dillon through here, Don. Stand back, everybody. Alvin, Mr. Dillon, it's Chan.
Yeah. He's been strangled, Chester.
Strangled?
Yeah, with his pigtail. I gave it back to him, all right.
Hey, look there. Knife. It's got blood all over it, too.
That's a butcher knife. Chen must have cut one of them. Maybe both.
That'll make it easier to track them.
Yeah. Now listen, all you men. I want you to stay here. I don't want anybody following us. You understand? All right, come on, Chester. Just take it easy. He may be waiting for us.
Yes, sir. Look, there's something laying over there by that rain barrel. It's a man.
Yeah, it's Howard Rabb, Chester. Looks like Chen cut him up pretty bad.
He's dead?
Yeah, he's dead. Now let's find Braden.
Get out. Going back, Marshal. You ain't gonna take me.
He's out with that shed there, Mr. Jones.
Yeah. You stay here, Chester, and keep down. I'm going to crawl up there to where I can see him.
All right. I'll holler at him a little to keep his tension.
All right, good.
You ain't got no chance, Braden.
Get on back, I tell you.
Mighty poor shooting, Braden. You must be awful scared. Did Chen get his knife into you, too?
You just stand up one time, Chester. I'll be happy to kill you.
You drop your gun, Braden.
No!
Okay, Chester.
Did you kill him?
Yeah, I killed him.
Well, I guess you had to.
There's Chen's treasure box, Chester. Pick it up, will you?
Here it is. I guess that's what they killed him for. Must be full of money after all.
Now, let's take a look.
By golly, it is money.
Yeah, this much is money. $4.
$4? Is that all?
That's all.
What's that other paper?
I don't know. Strike a match, Chester. Hold it over here, huh?
Yeah. That looks like some kind of a document, don't it? What's it say?
I can't see it very well. Hold it closer. Some of a... Chen Lan Wang was of invaluable service and intelligence. General McClellan's Army of the Potomac. Peninsular Campaign, March 1862.
Wait a minute. Make another light. There we are.
March 1862, in recognition, something. Chen Lan Wang is hereby granted full citizenship of the United States. Signed, Ulysses S. Grant, President.
I'll be doggone.
Well, it looks like Chen wasn't exactly a foreigner after all, doesn't it?
Poor little fellow.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take this letter out to Major Honeyman at Fort Dodge. I got an idea he might want to give Chen Wang a military burial.
That'd be fine, Mr. Dillon. That'd be just fine.
Now, Basil Rathbone, star of stage, screen, and television.
Hello there. Nothing's more trouble to an actor than an awful cold. How can you perform? Burning with fever, muscles aching too. I have to get rid of those nasty cold miseries fast.
What do you take, Mr. Athlone?
At the first sniffle, I take 4-way. It's the fastest way to stop cold distress, even a virus cold.
Right. Of all leading cold tablets, tests prove 4-way is the fastest acting brand. In minutes, 4-way's exclusive formula is speeding amazing relief into your bloodstream. In the same time, other brands showed no sign of relief. No other cold tablet, only 4-way, starts so fast to relieve all these cold miseries.
Relieves aches, pains, headache.
Reduces fever.
Calms upset stomach.
Overcomes irregularity. Today, get 4-way brand cold tablets, fastest way to stop these cold miseries. Only 29 and 49 cents. If a bothersome cough accompanies your cold, get welcome relief with new liquid 4-way cough and cold medication. Gunsmoke. Produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. The story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston. Featured in the cast were Ben Wright, Lawrence Dobkin, Barney Phillips, and John Daner. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Join us again next week for another story on Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
From hidden keys to hidden hatreds, this episode of classic radio drama theater has explored the darker corners of human experience. We hope these 4 vintage broadcasts have kept you guessing and gripped by suspense. Which story sparked your imagination the most? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, so you never miss a classic radio thrill. Until next time, remember, the best stories always leave a question mark hanging in the air.